Spoken from a former Democrat of all things. Hello, friends. Robert Imbriali here. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a Monday. That means there's a lot of news to cover, lots and lots going on. So let's get right to it. Let me bring on my co-host from Parts Unknown, Mr. Herms. How are you today?
Hello. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll only be on here a little bit. Thank you. I appreciate the Gitmo meals too. They're very good. Yes, thank you. Hi, Robert. They're only
Uh,
giving me a short time to spend some time with you
the
here.
Gitmo meal is it that what it is, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a bologna sandwich, and with white bread, and they won't even give me much. And
We
and they gave me this wood American flag to remind me I got to be a good boy.
That's right. And you can scratch in the number of days you're there in the wood, right?
Exactly right. Exactly
Got lots of
right.
room for that, my friend. Oh boy. Have you been looking at, well, first of all, how was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Tell us a little
Yeah,
bit
weekend
about
was great.
the things you did.
Okay, first, can I comment on the Chelsea
Yes.
Gabbard
Yep.
video? Okay, so here's the good news, folks. That's just optics.
No, we're gonna have a rough day with this connection.
Uh-oh, you having trouble hearing me?
Yeah. No, you freeze and then you come back and then you freeze again. So it's just one of those
Oh,
days.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you hear me the whole time? Because
Yeah.
I could just
No, I
freeze
don't
like
hear
this.
you when you're frozen.
Oh, I'm not freezing. I'm faking it. Okay, so well, we'll do it. We'll do our best. I
Exactly.
am in traveling, so sometimes we run into these hiccups, folks. We apologize for that. Uh, but real quick, so President Trump's entourage, that he
Hmm.
travels with, this mega caravan has over 40 moving pieces in it, including not the least of a battery to take down rockets and missiles, just like they use in Israel, only it drives around in a vehicle. I mean, this is serious stuff, which would indicate to me that he is commander in chief,
Yeah.
right? And therefore, this is optics from what we're seeing from Tulsi Gabbard. He also has, and I've had confirmation on this because I've asked the right people the questions. He has a a small contingent, possibly a dozen special forces personnel traveling with him, also as part of the unit of 40. That's not, to me, a guy that's not in charge right now. So I think that's very, very interesting. And those are the type of confirmations I like to get. I think it gives people some solace that maybe things are a little bit different than some of us may
Well,
want. So I
as
think Tulsi Gabbard's playing the role that she needs to play,
yeah.
which is perfect. An ex-Democrat showing how bad this is, and and she's right. What type of are they're literally writing a bill with that name on it? It's so obvious, right?
Yeah, it literally is. And, one thing that you may want to consider is that you had President Trump here in Newport Beach this weekend and then in Las Vegas. It doesn't look like a guy, he doesn't really look like a guy who's facing prison time. Doesn't seem to be concerned
No.
about it at all. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting if you look at the optic from that perspective. It's like here's a person going to face, a minimum 1 year, but maybe as many years as they want to put him in jail. Doesn't seem to be bothered by it at all.
Right. And we the people don't see me either because they just did a poll stands. I think not.
I think not. I think it'll change. Don't you think?
I do. I do. So to answer your question, sorry to divert, but I wanted to address that. The Quantum Summit, I first want to give props to Mel Carmen. He did a really good job putting this together. Um, these are not easy, as you know dearly. We put together 77, um, and now we're going to do 50 in 33 days coming up. Yes, 33. We're taking back our numbers. Don't come at me with that satanic bullshit. We don't take it anymore. So he put together a really good, very diversified group. Kind of not my crowd, to be honest with you. We're talking crypto. We're talking quantum financial system, Nasara, Jasara. Um, I did. we can go over a perspective we have today or maybe on Wednesday on what I think Nasara Jasara could look like, because I found a model that was already used that maybe people aren't recognizing. Um, and I brought it up to some people there, and they were pretty impressed. So it was very interesting, though, the diversity in the crowd. I can say, though, that my message was really well received, and that message is the message of taking personal accountability and unity. And I'm very, very proud that it was so well received. So I was I was the first speaker. Well, I was, I guess, the second speaker on the first day, because they brought up somebody that helped fund the event. But so I guess I was the first speaker, and then it was well received. So they asked me to be team up with one other guy that did a great job and be the last speaker on the second day. So that was a surprise. So I'm very, very happy and proud that Screw Big Gov and the team were well recognized there, and you, of course, a few people said say hi to Robert. So it was very, very cool, I got to tell you. So I will probably do some more speaking engagements, but it's all based on schedule. We're working on the 9/11 documentary and some other things coming here forward. Oh, and that Unity tour thing.
That little tour coming up in September. That'll be interesting to fire that off. We're getting questions about it already. Where's the website? I'm like, it's coming. It's coming. Patience. It's coming. Lisa, take a deep breath. It is not ready today. It's okay. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And she's doing a great job, and
Yeah.
and you are, and everybody. If you love Robert, put a heart in chat right now. Robert does such a fantastic job here, and he puts up with me. Not easy. By the way, I've
No,
asked
no,
Robert. I said,
no,
we
no.
we need to do a little format change here, which is going to make him very uncomfortable coming forward. But I think he's actually gonna love it also when it comes down to it.
Well, yeah, it's in response. Our show is based on the feedback from all of you who view the show, and we've always looked to, give you the best show that you like in the way you like it, rather than it being us and our ego and we're going to do it this way and you guys got to listen to us. We're not Steve Jobs. We're not going to play that game. We're going to listen to you, and we've been hearing the feedback, and we're going to make some changes going forward. It seems to be, a new direction. It'd be a lot of fun to see how it plays out, and so we're working on it. So the show you're seeing today may be the old format, and we may have something new rolling out and very shortly. Cool.
Just think in that conspiracy theory realm.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
and that's in addition to what we do here, by the way. So we're not taking away what you're already getting here.
Yep. Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, my weekend was pretty uneventful. Did a lot around the ranch, and sort of happy to be back in looking. I never really stop looking at the news. It's like I kind of think, oh, the weekend I won't be, still, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And there's not a lot on Sundays. It's very quiet. That doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means it's not being reported on. Nobody's sharing anything about it because they're out enjoying their Sunday, right? We see a lot of stories drop on Friday night after 5 o'clock that they want to bury. So you see that kind of thing, and then Monday maybe it gets picked up. But I don't know about you, Lewis, but I find anything that breaks on Friday, by the time Monday comes along, it's like ancient history.
It's different, isn't it?
It really, it's crazy.
Stories used to have a half-life of a week at least.
Yeah,
right?
not anymore.
And I sometimes a day. It's maddening, but I think that's a good thing ultimately. And to answer a question that's in the chat real quick, yes, we are planning on being in Massachusetts, Lowell, Massachusetts, on October 1st. So join us there. It is free, the Unity Tour, which we'll talk about here coming forward. But yeah, I'm definitely finding that it's hard. Yeah, and let's say from our perspective, Robert, especially yours, you worked so hard on a story, reading everything about it and bringing it to the public, and that story gets, no pun intended, trumped by something else, and you have to shelve it.
Yeah, happens almost every show. Pretty much every show.
Virtually every show, I know. So it's incredible. But the good news is, I believe that's really an indication that the people. I'm going to keep going back to this. The people are winning this war. And I had a talk with somebody, and we were talking about, God can use anything to the advantage of of us when God chooses so. And I said, well, here, let me give you the best example of that. Originally, the people that, not the creators, but the ones that really introduced the internet and
Hmm.
made the internet a big deal and go viral, that was a cabal system. Actually, there's some central banking that was behind that, the Rothschilds and some other things. You can even take the names out. It was definitely a cabal system, and it was a unit for information and control, right? And they figured they can mass MK Ultra everybody. If you dig into who the people were behind it, you got to go past the ones that we're told about and just dig a little further, and you find out that's what it was about. Okay, but what really is taking down the cabal right now? Let's put the white hats, gray hats thing to the side. It's the people. It's the messaging on the internet and the volume of stuff that we're putting out
Yeah.
time after time again. So the the weapon that they formed is now being used against them, in my opinion, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Challenge is that does mean that the story's half-life is just reduced to almost nothing, and it's a lot for us to intake. Um, so it is what it is.
It really is. And, one of the things that I keep looking at is like, I was looking at that. How many stories do I have to read to get the 12 that we're going to cover today? It's over 70 today, to give you
Mm.
an idea. It's like, so, yeah, why does it take 6 hours to put this together? It should take only an hour. No, no, no. There's a lot going on. So, crazy, crazy stuff. Hey, before we dig into the news, what's going on at Screw Big Gov this week, Lewis?
Well, Lisa's doing changes in the background, but Screw Big Gov is direly needed, folks, right now. And here's why. ScrewBigGov.com is where you're going to find all the links to all the social media that we are being banned on. Almost universally, we're being attacked right now. I was having conversations with people, and we were looking at comparative statistics. Great example. Did you know on X, there's a fake account of Lewis Herms that has 91 followers, right? My secondary account has only 2,500 followers. They take all my stuff, they recopy it and post it as theirs. They get virtually the same amount of views that I get. That is shadow banning 101 right
Mm-hmm.
there, right? Crazy. So we have over 25 times what they have, but they have the same views just by literally copying and pasting our content, our logo, and everything else. That's interesting, right? So clearly, like you say, Robert, we must just be over the target. So we're going to make a lot of changes in the future, and we're going to kind of play some games in order to get our social media more active. So definitely be on screwbiggov.com because you can just click on the social media links and you can find all the documentaries. I'm hearing that a lot of people are starting to watch Cages again, so somebody must have been posting it as of late. And I know the Deuterium videos keep getting active again, so that's cool. You can go Freedom in Action, Remember Your Oath, everything. Lisa will have everything on the Unity Tour coming up there very soon. And probably most importantly, if you want summarization of a lot of things that we do, go to Robert's Telegram channel.
Yeah, that's Renegade Media on Telegram, or you can just email me, Robert at renegademedia.tv. I know many of you do, and you share stories with us. And we always appreciate that. We want to know what you're thinking, what's hot in your mind, and what you want to know more about, and that helps us. So, Robert at renegademedia.tv or Renegade Media on Telegram. All right, my friend. Crazy, crazy stuff. What's going on in the financial world? Do you have any tip that, because I know you had an event where they were all talking about the finance and all the rest of this. Any tip you can share?
Any tip? Well, okay,
Okay.
here. I can tell you a little bit based on my own research. The real estate market looks like it's starting to crash. And remember, they're they're really dealing with three things right now. So we've got the dollar, and that's a big issue. You have the stock market and you have the real estate market. I believe that all three are so weak right now that one will affect the other two. So we're having fun when I was in Florida, just looking on the phone at realtor.com, and price after price, drop 25,000, drop 30,000. I mean, boom, 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 over and over and over and over. And that may not seem like much, but that was 4 to 5% of the value within a month they were dropping, because they're starting to panic. We saw this in 2008. This is one of the markers I told people to watch for a crash. So I do think there's a crash ahead of us for sure. Now that you look that Saudi Arabia detached themselves from the US dollar in regards to buying oil. So we're going to talk about that, what's going to happen with that. And then you have some volatility in the stock market. And now again, you have the GameStop guys having fun playing with the GameStop and really freaking people out, right? So I think it's everything's come together at once. I definitely believe, and many people, that we're going to go through a massive crash. Guys, don't panic. Just put your money in the right places. I personally like silver and gold, and I you probably should have some cash on hand. I can tell you personally, between myself and let me see, 3 other people I talked to, the last week were making bank transfers and they weren't going through like they should be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sometimes they should be 10 seconds, and one of them took 3 days.
Yep.
And that was Bank of America, to Bank of America. So it's things that we really need to pay attention to. So what I was talking about a little bit this on stage this weekend, and I wanted everybody to know, and this is just the way it works. In order for us to grow, and you know this better than anybody with your training and working with Anthony Robbins, you often need to become uncomfortable before you go through growth.
Right.
I believe that's the phase really that we're going to go in financially right now, is everybody's going to be a little bit uncomfortable in order to go through growth. Now, here's the way I look at it, though, is we the people are going to go through what I call short-term pain. The cabal is going to go through permanent pain. So ultimately, when we come out on the other side of this, it'll be worth it, because as you and I speak about, and I know you're a proponent of this, we need to bring all the systems down to the foundation to build them up to probably what 10-15% of what they really are right now. So guys, take a deep breath, be prepared. Yes, prep. It's not a scare tactic. We don't sell anything to prep here with, so we have no motivation to do that, and just to give you the news. But universally, everybody I talk to think we're going to come out of this really, really, really great.
Exactly. And we want to thank our sponsor, Midas Gold Group, too. If you want to find out more about investing in gold and silver, talk to Matt Geiger. He will tell you all about it. 480-725-0536 or MidasGoldGroup.com. You can find out, get your questions answered, because I know a lot of people are asking the questions about the financial crash, and they're seeing 400 plus banks have already closed their branches this year. That's a lot. That's the most, I think, in recorded history is of a number of bank branches that are closing, and it's pretty scary right now. And we don't know what the future is going to hold, and it's a conversation we have here almost daily. It's like, what do we do? What do we do? What should we do? What's next? What's next? We got the gold, we got the silver. What next? And yeah, it's just a little unsettling, but I believe, like you believe, Lewis, on the other side of it, we're going to be okay. We just got to get there, and we're not quite there yet. So,
yeah,
patience, my friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell the Nassar story here, and this may help people a little bit. So, probably nobody's been as hard as on Nassar, except maybe Juan has, than I have. Because I saw a lot of manipulation from the Patriots when the information started coming out about Nassar. Now, I had a revelation, though, and I know there's something there. In fact, I dug into it, and there's definitely something there. But I had a revelation, and here's the good news. It hit me all of a sudden. I was in a conversation, and it hit me. I literally changed target on this conversation because it hit me so hard. I go, we already have a model for Nassar. It already happened, and it was working until the deep state stepped in, and that's Libya. Muammar Gaddafi. So there was a model that was working, and he detached himself from the central banking system and was trying to convince all the African countries, and they were buying it, to come do it the way he was doing it, because he literally was bringing African leaders in and saying, look, here's a model, it works. Let's do this. So I believe there is already a model there, and those people that believe in the SARA, the good news is I believe it has happened somewhere before. So there is something to that.
Well, it's a model, right? So it's
When
based
I
on
mentioned
something.
that,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's kind of what I was saying, because as I've been very hard on it, but I've been not hard on the SARA. I've been hard on it because the people that were pumping it had ulterior motives, and they're putting out BS to get clicks or to do whatever they want. Right. So, but there is a model. So it doesn't. So I believe it is very, very possible. And the reality is, there's been a lot of reports of people debt being absolved. I haven't heard many personally, a couple, but through other people, they're like, yeah, I got a call. Yes, this person. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I had a credit card disappear with $1,800 balance on it, gone. So
there you go.
It does happen.
Yeah. So, and I think you'll probably be one of the test models that they're gonna go to and say, look, okay, worked with Robert. Now here's how we do it here and here. So
yeah,
you actually may be called upon to tell your story. Would be my guess. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see, and we're also going to see if this guy goes to prison. What do you think?
I have no clue.
The jury's deliberating.
So if he doesn't go to prison, right, that is another marker of this so-called story to show people that if he does go to prison, that means we're there, because now the hammer is going to start dropping on everybody.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people are thinking. That I think Nick Sorter here, who posted that, said no way it's going to happen. No way he'll go to jail. He'll get a little slap on the wrist, if anything, or something. Who knows what's going to happen there? But he doesn't believe they're going to put him in prison. We'll see. I think you're right. I think that tells us the story. If they do drop the hammer on him, because then that opens it up for them dropping the hammer on other people as well. He may just be the scapegoat to say, see, we're doing it to our side too, and just like Trump, but he's a criminal, so this guy's a criminal too, and we don't stop because he's the president's son. Maybe they're just doing it so they can justify their actions against Trump. Yeah,
we'll see. If it is, it will still be a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
If that's the case, right?
Should be 25 years in prison. That's what that's worth.
Yeah.
That little thing.
Yeah. That little thing.
All right. Our first conspiracy story. I've been finding really interesting information. I'm feeling like a little bit like a Denise Stevens this weekend, I guess, and doing some deep diving here. USS Eisenhower, one of our aircraft carriers. I think we've got 12 total. They're saying that one was shot up this weekend pretty badly, to the point where Fulford is saying that it's headed to the scrap heap. They can't recover it. And we're going back and forth, and we go, okay, so there's this story here. I'm saying it's true or false. I don't know. So I'll play the little video clip here real quick, and then we could. So some people are saying that's a clip from a video game, and some people are saying it's actual video. The story's got quite a lot of detail here. On June 1st, the Ansarallah-aligned Yemeni armed forces displayed remarkable boldness by targeting the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Eisenhower in the Red Sea twice within 24 hours. This move was in response to the joint U.S.-UK strikes on the country, marks a significant escalation in the Yemeni theater within the broader regional conflict centered on Gaza. The striking of the Eisenhower bears significant implications. Sana'a is undeterred by the increasing level of targets it can engage, showcasing a willingness to take bold actions without hesitation. There was another story, too, that says some of the missiles they're using are coming from Russia. So it demonstrates the audacity to strike targets Washington considers red lines, including aircraft carriers and potentially land-based sites and bases in future stages. The U.S. is in denial. Of course, we heard nothing from the government. Following the Yemeni military's announcement confirming the targeting of the Eisenhower, the U.S. initially downplayed the event, refraining from commenting. Nevertheless, the lack of direct official sourced U.S. comment, even as a denial, is in itself an indication of targeting, regardless of whether the carrier was damaged or not. So, like I said, Fulford is saying it was. It's destroyed beyond repair. They're towing it now, basically to the scrap heap. This is an interesting story. I had to go to Yandex to find it.
I think both can be true. I think the story can be true and the video can be fake.
Yeah.
Because often people are so interested in getting the story out and attaching themselves to the story, they'll produce or find video that supports their story and put it out as real. Great example. We've seen that with the Lahaina fire, the Paradise fire. We've seen that with hurricanes, so on and so forth. These are real events that happen, but people put out fake videos. So is the fake videos put out to discredit the Patriot community, or they put out for clicks? I kind of lean towards it's put out for clicks, where people are putting it out there. So I say BS on the video, because unless the Eisenhower just decided not to use any of their defensive mechanisms whatsoever, right?
That's where I was going with this.
Right? Yeah. So if that's the case, yeah. But so I think the video's BS, but that doesn't mean the story's BS. So it's definitely something we should dig into. The no comment, I think, is very interesting, though, because if it was completely fake, I believe they would have immediately debunked it.
Exactly.
So, and because it takes time to create a story around this stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think they would have said, if it was fake, no, absolutely, that's ridiculous, right? So this is definitely something we want to look into. And the fact that we do know that Russia's moving into Cuba right now, go figure.
Yeah. And
Didn't that happen in 1962?
Yep. Before our time, both of us. This is a Chinese satellite photo of a missile explosion on the deck of the USS Eisenhower, apparently. But it could be an ultrasound.
Or both. Who knows?
Or both. We don't know. Yeah, when you see these things, it's like you really have to question it. And yeah. So Russia's taking a bigger role, as you mentioned. They're down in Cuba now. I think we saw the ships rolling in today. They were supposed to come sometime this week, and they're already starting to roll in today, which is interesting. I forget who it was saying that Russia will be the one to rescue America. I don't know if that was Juan that was saying that about a year ago.
Interesting.
Yeah. He said...
I think their model may be. Physically, I don't know that. It would be interesting, though, because we do know we have a lot of Chinese forces on ground here in the United States now. So we know that. It would be interesting, though, if something went down and Russia circumvented, like, the CCP. Although I think the CCP is just about fallen. That's my opinion. But it'd be interesting if Russia circumvented something and finally you'd see what's going on. I absolutely believe that President Trump is in contact with all major world leaders, and there is an alliance out there of sorts. Absolutely believe that. And we have to stop getting sucked into the mainstream media. And Fox News is doing what Fox News did before, right?
Yep.
Oh, now it looks like Trump's going to win. Oh, now we're all pro-Trump. Here we go. All Trump all day long, right?
Yeah.
And that's the way they suck in, because they're grabbing market share. They're sucking you back in, because, guys, they lost. I think, Robert, you told me half their market from a few years ago. Is that right?
Oh yeah, it's even more than that. And I got a story on CNN today. You're gonna see the number from CNN. You're gonna, like, your hair's gonna fall out. It was like, what? Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the fact that they're trying to draw everybody in it. So here, I'm not on the page of we already won. I believe God already won. I think
we can't.
I think this is we the people's war, and we still have work to do. And I think the deep state does still have some assets. I believe the outcome may already be decided, right? Which is great for us, but the timeline has to do with the people kicking in, anting in, and trying to make a difference, in my opinion. And that's partially why we're going to be doing the Unity Tour, just to get that vibration where we need it, and stop being fearful because that's one of their last bastions is feeding off your.
How would you know this?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
they're launching an avian flu, and they're finding it in cattle. Hello. Think. Avian flu for birds, but they're finding it in cattle. And people are buying this?
Well, here's an interesting. They just had a fire at a cattle farm.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 18,000 they said they lost?
That's a lot. Yeah.
All within a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do the math on that, because I think it's bullshit. Now
a boon for Trump. Well, this is kind of the precursor that we saw with Brexit before Trump got elected, right? Britain wanting to exit the EU. We saw that happen, and then Trump got elected after that. President Trump and the American Republicans feel buoyed by right-wing victories across Europe in this weekend's European Parliament elections that shocked France and other nations, a possible foreshadowing of the U.S. electoral landscape, similar to how the United Kingdom's 2016 Brexit referendum preceded Trump's victory that year. EU-US Forum founding board member Matt Mowers, like a lawnmower, I guess, a former Trump administration State Department official who now leads the aforementioned pro-populist conservative group with other ex-Trump administration officials, issued a statement late Sunday evening after the results, saying the message should be loud and clear for globalists everywhere. And this is his quote. Thanks to tonight's historic victories by conservative parties across the continent, it's the dawning of a new era in Europe where conservative ideas can no longer be silenced. Since March, the EU-US Forum has exposed the failed policies and leadership at the EU and blanketed Europe with messaging to demand change at the EU. Tonight's results prove that Europeans are ready for conservative leadership and reject the far-left path that EU bureaucrats have forged for Europe. From France to Spain to Germany, conservative policies triumphed. Brussels must now hear their citizens loud and clear. Enough is enough. Europeans are sick and tired of living in as pawns in schemes of the global left-wing elite. We hope tonight's victories in the EU elections stand as a signal for the rest of the world that citizens from both Europe and America are fed up with the dangerous policies that the far left has been pushing for years. Reckless spending, open borders, unfettered regulation, yada, yada, yada. And that's not the real Trump. It doesn't even look like him.
Thank you very much. But let's call this for what it is. It's MAGA. Make Earth great again.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah?
You have the hat?
Make Earth great again. Yeah, I should get a MAGA hat, right? Yeah. Maybe I will. I'll get a red MAGA hat. But that's what it is. Somebody just took our idea, Robert. They've already got the website right now, and they're printing the shirts. Oh,
there they go. Where's Bruce when you need him?
The micro fixes the macro. Oh God, they trademarked that shit. But yeah, so it's a beautiful thing. I was reading these stories yesterday, and I was just pumped. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And who is that? And that's what we need. That's what we keep going back to. That's the people.
Yep.
Right? That's the people universally now are sick of this. Unfortunately, because of the MK Ultra in this country, we are following, not leading in this department. But we're going to get there.
Yep. It's ironic. In the United States, I always felt that we were ahead of the curve on everything, and we are so far behind. We're like 10 years behind everybody else now on this. We just haven't woken up. And I'm going to have a long story about this tomorrow. I'm going to talk about it on a video I'm going to do about how the shift has happened since the conviction, how the division is actually more visible, but I really doubt it will last. It's really kind of interesting how the clash is happening. Phoebe was all upset before because somebody posted some stuff, and I've been seeing that on the weekend too, and it's like, wow, okay, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'll save that for another video, but yeah, we've entered a new phase, and it's really, really good. I was looking at all those elections, and I don't understand how they elect in France, because Le Pen won but didn't really win. Then Macron dissolves the parliament, but he's not going to really be gone till 2027.
I know.
And he's going to put, it's like, huh?
No, what? Well, I think that what's happened is it sets them up to get pushed out, really taken to Gitmo, really, if they're not already a double anyways. Oh,
Right.
bust our bubble. Carol just busted our bubble. She says Mega's already been on Twitter as Make Earth Great Again. Ay, man, you think you have an idea. Ay, Dios mío. Um, anyways, I definitely believe that we're going in the complete right direction, and I hope people see positivity and hope in this, because we have to really get away from the woe is me mentality, and unfortunately we have to get. Here's what's interesting. Tell me what you think about this, Robert. I preach a lot the micro affects the macro, right? I think your emotional investment in the micro can also, your finances suck. Personally, I can see how you would not believe that things are going in the right direction, right? And then if you watch CNN. So I get that, but let's not let your personal micro destroy the macro. And that's why we personally have to understand that we have choice, and we can make a choice to react and respond to anything that comes our way in a positive way. We can find the positivity in it. I know you do.
It's our ability to discern that's being tested right now. And I think a lot of people are failing at this point, and they need to work that muscle. It's like the first time you go to the gym, you're like, I can't even do one push-up. If you go to the gym for 6 months and try again, you'll do 100. And I think that's what it is that ability to discern is really being tested, and it's not something we've ever needed. The media was fairly honest, or at least we thought it was. The government was fairly honest, or at least we thought it was. Our authorities were honest. We didn't really question it. We just took it, which I believe is why we're behind the 8 ball here, why it's taking us so long to wake up. Because we haven't really been, wow, we got to question the government? You mean the government would actually tell us to do something that's bad for us? How is that possible? We have the FDA. They're supposed to be there as the guardians of our health. How could they be evil? Hard to understand.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Yeah. I absolutely agree.
Well, I was talking to Thumper this morning, and he wants a hat. Or even you, because they have a button on there for humans. Hint, hint. Very important to have a look at what they've got going on. You'll find the link in the description of the video right here on Rumble, or if you're watching it on other channels as well. The link is there, and you can go check it out. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. You will not be refunding. I guarantee you'll love it so much. Actually, your animals will love it. Well, if you buy the human stuff, you'll probably love it too, especially the chocolate chip cookies. Oh my. Can't get enough of those. You addicted to those too, Lewis?
You know what? In fact, we have there's a product they have called Enhanced that we took with us when we're traveling. I shouldn't say we're traveling, because my wife's not in Gitmo with me. I'm here alone. Pretty soon here they're going to give me an hour of exercise time out in there's a quad area here, which is pretty. They're very nice. They treat me very nice. They said if I'm good, they'll give me mustard on my bologna sandwich tomorrow.
Oh. If I look at the bigger scope of looking at all the news and looking at all the different feeds and look at everything that I see, the trend, I'm always looking for the trend. Like you're like this too, Lewis. You like to look for the trend. Where are things going, right? The disclosure coming out is absolutely at the level that is insane. I thought it was a lot last year. There's nothing like it is right now. It is coming out almost hourly. There's new videos coming out, new court cases that we're winning. And here's a video from Nancy Pelosi that somebody just released today, saying she takes responsibility for not
prepare for more.
Is that Nancy Pelosi saying, I take responsibility? She was responsible for it. And she deflected and said it was President Trump that said not to bring them there. And now this video comes out?
Very interesting.
Wow.
You know what? I feel compelling that she's riding in a vehicle and she's wearing a mask and talking through the mask.
Yeah.
Right? So is we know, okay, so if it's Nancy Pelosi, I know, revelation here, if it's even Nancy Pelosi talking, the mask is purely for optics. We know their mask game already, right? Or could it be an actor that's masked playing Nancy Pelosi? I am starting to believe that Nancy Pelosi and AOC are working for the good guys. So this could be that soft
disclosure.
Reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun to watch, though, isn't it?
Oh my gosh! Well, they're saying here that if this video proves out to be true, and the mask is an indicator to me that it was during the January 6th. That's when everyone was masked anyway. It was there in that time.
Oh, you think it's an older video? That makes sense.
They said it's 3 years old, and it was during that time when everyone was masked up. And if that proves to be true, then every Jan 6 case should be thrown out at this point. Right? We should move away from all of that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So
I'm telling you, the disclosures, and there's so much coming out on the elections, stepping up and starting to arrest the people that administered them. I thought, whoa, that's turning a corner. We'll see where that goes.
You can say it and not do it, though.
Oh yeah.
Which I've seen several sheriffs do.
Right.
Including the aforementioned, for sure.
Yeah.
I had a spirited discussion with Mac, as you know, because it's a lot of it's Lindsey Graham etiquette, or not etiquette, the conversation.
Yep.
They all talk a good game, but they don't do anything. And then when you ask them, they refer back to the talking point that they made previously, right? But we're done with that, and I think they're starting to figure out that we're done with that. So the beautiful thing about all these people is the people are saying we don't take it anymore, right? So and I'm not saying anything in regards to Lamb in the situation, but just the sheriffs in general and the politicians in general, if you don't show any fruits, we don't really give a damn what's coming out of your mouth. And I think they're starting to see that, which is great.
Well, words are great, but action is much better. Words is only 7% of everything, and 55% is the action. So we got to see the action before we're going to buy into anything. I'm like that too, Louis. I don't listen to the words. I could care less about the words. Show me your actions, right?
Yeah. Where's the other 38%?
The voice quality, how you present, loudness.
Okay, because you said 7% is the words, 55% action. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Very cool.
That's an NLP
I didn't know
construct.
That stat.
Carol knows this.
Of course, Carol knows.
Carol knows everything.
Carol, I hope you find your way to the U.S. during the tour. Unfortunately, many people are only going to get a couple minutes to speak because this is more about just hanging out with the people. But hey, if you can be at a couple of them, we'd love to have you.
Yep. Hey, free hugs.
That's right.
Gets them every time.
Literally, in the ad that we're putting out, I asked Lise to add in hugs in there. That's funny you say that.
I love it. That's important. Oh, so there's a story from the National Pulse we talked earlier about CNN, and there's a couple of pieces in here I want to point out. This is from the National Pulse, as I said. The consolidation of the corporate media entities continues. This is not good news, by the way. With CNN set to feature, get this, Associated Press content on its website for the first time in nearly 15 years. CNN staffers fret that move, pushed by the network's CEO Mark Thompson, is a prelude to layoffs as the corporate news organization moves away from what? Original reporting. That's not good. In late May, it was revealed the network logged its lowest primetime ratings since 1991. Wow. Didn't it come out in 1991? It was a year old, right?
Well, grand openings are always big and they fade. So
yeah. According to Nielsen data, the network's 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., this is prime time, programming from May 13th to May 19th attracted only, and I know podcasts that are bigger than this, 83,000 viewers among the coveted demographic of 25 to 54-year-olds. Wow. If I'm paying $10 1,000 for exposure, my ad, it's costing me what? $83? $800 for that's crazy. So this is where it gets really interesting. Billionaire globalist George Soros is trying to gain a controlling interest in Odyssey, America's second largest radio broadcaster. A successful takeover would give Soros 40% stake in the financially distressed company's senior debt. This sizable stake could grant him significant control over the company as it resurfaces from bankruptcy. In addition, Odyssey Play, Soros has invested millions in buying Hispanic radios, news stations, and popular podcast platforms. They're not stupid. They know the power of the media. In addition to the Soros investments, Democrat dark money groups like Arabella Advisors have also jumped into the media game, making significant investments in state and local newspapers ahead of the 2024 presidential election. Yeah.
Well, we brought it to you here over a year ago that CNN's top news hour was around 400,000, and you could take two, three podcasters, and they already beat that. Most importantly, which I really did some digging on this back in the day, and I found was interesting, is they bring in an ad revenue approximately $2 million a day. So that this
for an audience of 83,000, how do you do that?
It doesn't make sense, right? So this is common sense,
right.
and this is the corporate 1,000 cabal that we talk about, the big pharma, so on and so forth, that they intentionally fund misinformation. You're a marketer, I'm a marketer. There's no way, even if we had the money, that we'd spend $2 million a day on an entity that's not even producing probably $200,000 for us.
Yeah,
would never, ever happen. So, and no, don't come at me with branding. We understand branding also, and that's not the way you do branding marketing, right? So what happens in regards to that is it's got to be a situation of transferring wealth intentionally through this corporate cabal in order to keep that false DARPA CIA message flowing through mainstream media.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Well, obviously they're not running it as a business. So we got to take that off the table, because if it were running it would be out of business by now. I mean, you can't run with 83,000 viewers in prime time. I mean, that's, with television, viewership in prime time is usually measured in the millions of people. 83,000 is nothing. It's like the worst podcast you could think of on the planet would get. It's crazy. It's such a low number. I mean, you don't know when you start looking at television numbers, it's how low that is. It's a drop in the bucket, literally. So they're not running it as a business. They're not making money with the ads. They're making money because they are funded by big pharma to get a message out, to get that out. And now they're backing off and doing original reporting, and they're just going to be using AP content. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, well, you're 100% right. And think about this. If you're a shareholder of CNN, you're because it's impossible for them to make money with that model, but yet they're showing profit quarter after quarter based on, if you have $6 million of ad revenue coming in one quarter, and you show 5 million in expenditures, everybody's like, oh, this is fantastic, right? But it's virtual money laundering is what it is. And the return on this sick money laundering system is what? Propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Who is the parent company of CNN?
I don't know now. Who is it?
Is it Disney?
I know it used to be Turner Broadcasting before.
Yeah, I think it's Disney now.
Oh God! Well, of course. I wouldn't doubt that a bit. Actually, I don't know the answer to that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Who's the parent company for CNN? No, it's not going. Who's the parent company of CNN?
I love you doing this live, Robert. That's cool.
It's a division of Warner Brothers.
Oh, the WB, the Propaganda
WB.
Network. That makes sense.
That's all,
That makes
folks.
sense.
Yep. Bugs
Yep.
Bunny. That's
There's
all. That's all I remember from Warner Brothers is Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, and now it's the reality TV network. So yeah, that makes total sense.
You didn't hear it because I had the phone on mute, so she just brought it up in text. So just in case you were wondering, why didn't I hear Siri? That's why. Oy. All right. You brought this up earlier, some of the survey. We're going to go through this real quickly here. 84% expect to be worse off under a second Biden term. Most voters say Trump conviction not a factor. I think you were reading the same story I was reading this morning. This again from the National Pulse. Asked about a Biden second term, 79% say he would increase the number of migrants or that a second term won't have any effect. In other words, migrants would continue pouring in at current rates. I think another 4 years of this, we'd probably run out of migrants. I don't know. We've got, you know what I mean? At some point, the funnel's got empty, right? Just 20% believe the numbers would be reduced under a second Biden term. For Trump, exactly 70% believe he would decrease the numbers at the border, with 24% saying it won't have an effect. So in other words, it stays the same. 84% of voters believe their financial situation will remain the same or worse under a Biden second term. And people are waking up. Such a lack of confidence in the Biden-Harris ticket is also reflected when voters are asked about the main reasons they are voting for their preferred candidate. 50%.
That'll change, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. 27%, only 27% saying they vote because they really like Biden.
Oh, I like to meet those people.
Yeah, the number is almost inverted when Trump voters are polled along the same lines. 52% their decision is based mainly on their admiration of Trump, with 34% mainly voting Trump to oppose Biden. That would be the Democrats flipping over. They don't really like Trump, but
I did not read this, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I got my information from Dr. Phil.
Oh,
go ahead.
Good. So just 28% call Trump's conviction a major factor. However, 71% saying his conviction is not a factor either way in how they'll vote. So you had the number at 91. I guess there are different polls out there. Just it's giving the same trend anyway. We're looking at the same.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. And it's coming from different sources, which actually is even a better thing because it corroborates what's going on.
Right. Right. So, yeah, fascinating. I mean, you know, am I a big believer in polls? No, not necessarily. But these surveys are kind of fun to kind of get a pulse. They surveyed 2,000 people. And, you know, Trump voter, Biden voter, they asked them the same questions, basically. And they wanted to figure out where things were. Is the conviction a big deal? Not a big deal. I think a lot of people see it for what it is. And the more people I talk to, except, you know, people on the other side don't yet see that. They're still in Jubilee mode. They're still excited that it happened. But yeah, I don't see it as a big deal.
No, but the tide is a changing.
Oh yeah,
and that's the good thing.
Yep.
I never thought I would say where France goes, we go. Oh, I just threw up in my mouth thinking about it.
Hey, the Statue of Liberty is a French donation. Gave it from the French, right?
Yeah. It's also a homage to Luciferian Illuminati.
Yep. We're gonna have to go into those kind of conspiracies, Lewis, a little deeper because people want to hear that.
Yep.
They want to know. I don't want to know. Why don't you go get yourself a bottle of pine needle extract? It promotes your healthy respiratory function, which is really, really good right now, especially with. I don't really believe it, but okay. Supports a healthy immune system. You've got to keep your immune system nice and punchy in the face of whatever may be coming. Assists brain and nervous system health and supports a healthy detoxification process. This is from Lance's company. Lance will be joining us later this week. And you want to find out more about his products. He's really, really got good stuff. I mean, really high level, high quality. We promote it. We use it. I took the pine needles this morning. I took the DHA oil this morning. I took, the fulvic and humic acid this morning. Why? Because we want to remain healthy. And Lewis, you brought it up last week. You said, hey, right now is the time to take care of your body, take care of your emotional stuff, take care of your finances, and take care of your physical. Right? The physical is important because we don't know what's coming. We just know it's going to be a little bit bumpy. So go have a look, SBG Ascent, SBGASCENT.com, and you can see Lance's entire catalog. Lots of good stuff to pick from there. And we'll sure you enjoy whatever you decide to buy because there's a lot of good stuff there to pick from. I have a hard time when I go to that website. It's like, I want this, I want that, I want that.
I know.
Geez, $300 on my card. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I know, but it's well organized. There's a lot. It's interesting what you said, because when we're traveling, my wife and I always have a health regimen when we travel, especially. Um, you can't see the backpack in the background because the Gitmo soldiers won't let me show it right now. But they are very nice. They're good guys, so they do let us bring the following. And this is not BS. We have a certain regimen, and I'm going to tell people exactly what it is. Uh, it's always pine needle extract, right? Which we have. It's always a Neumi. For her, it's fulvic and humic acid. And what else is there? Generally I take ivermectin paste with us. We ran out, but I did bring HCQ. So there's always a regiment of things we have. And when I remember, and I have to be full transparency, is I take algae oil too. But the point is, we have a certain regiment that we take to stay healthy while we're on the road. Especially, it's extraordinarily important when you're traveling to have this type of stuff. So interesting enough that you said that, because this is the stuff that we carry with us. I'm not trying to tell you guys, by the way, go out and find your own stuff. What I'm saying is your health is paramount right now in this battle, because everybody needs to be at their absolute best energy so we can get the message out to everybody.
Very true. And, your health, when you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So that's kind of number one for me. And I put that above everything as well. And especially when traveling, because you just don't know what you're being exposed to, especially when you're in the steel tube for, 5-6 hours at a time, breathing in everyone else's air.
Oh my God. Maybe I should tell this story.
Oh,
We were in the steel tube for almost 12 hours.
wow.
We flew. So from Los Angeles to Orlando, including flight time and generally getting to a hotel or whatever you have to do, maybe it'd be about 7 hours total driving from the house, getting there, waiting, an hour early, getting off the plane and going to wherever you go. Our travel time, no exaggeration, was over 17 hours.
Wow.
17 hours. Because what happened is it was just everything that could go wrong. So we got to the airport early, because that's what we do. We hung out there just to make sure. So that was good. The plane left really late, like I believe 35, 40 minutes late. And because of that, over Orlando, it ran into a massive storm, and they wouldn't let us land. So what they did is they just circled the airport
Yep.
for such a long time. Get this. And the way the captain said it was probably not good. He goes, "Folks, we've run out of fuel, so we need to land in Jacksonville." And wait. The first things out of your mouth shouldn't be, "We ran out of fuel." It should be, "Folks, we've been hovering over Orlando so far. We need to go to Jacksonville to refuel." That probably would have been a better approach. But so we were hovering forever, and then we went to Jacksonville, and then because of all the traffic that was diverted, getting back took forever, and they wouldn't let us out of the plane. So our travel time was added about 10 hours on our travel time, which is crazy. I think East Coast time we ended up getting in 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that not fun, but there you go. So the fact that we were in that plane so long is just another reason why you need to protect yourself and be as healthy as possible.
Yeah,
I was
because your
sucking
immune
everybody's
system
up
gets
with
hit.
oxygen.
Yep.
That's right. Oh my God, I'd be freaking out.
Well, if your immune system's doing its thing and you're supporting it, you don't have to worry too much about those kinds of things. So,
No, you don't.
yeah. Well, you spoke about this odd fellow here. About freedom. I thought we were protecting their borders and stopping the invasion and all the narrative that they fed us.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked, and that means it's one of two things. Either the deep state is so desperate, so they're throwing everything against the wall, which I don't think now. I think that part is part of the movie, and they're starting to disclose, because now if you back up, same exact thing happened in Afghanistan. So it's all about taking land and resources or religion when it comes to war.
Yeah.
Generally, that's what it comes down to. And so he's telling you the motivation is we need the Ukraine as our deep state fortress because we're stealing the money from there.
Happens there freely because they allow it, and they're okay taking the money for it. Things that are illegal here.
So I was told this weekend, and this is new information that I did not know, and this is from an actual special forces guy. He said what they did is when they originally went into Afghanistan and things got settled, they split that country up. Now, when I say split it up, into who would grab the resources from what regions, right? I did not know this, but I did know that Russia was a big part of that, right? So they got to control one region there. China would control another region. That's the piece I didn't know. And then America got a region, right? What I didn't know is America got the smallest part, but the only part that would happen to be hugely rich in gold. So they settled, quote unquote, for the absolute smallest part of Afghanistan because they didn't need any of that stuff. But it's supposed to be one of the richest gold, underground gold hoards in the world.
Wow.
And we ended up with that. Just so that's a little kind of inside information that I got over the weekend. I thought was very interesting.
Time to invest in gold, I guess. That's what you're trying to tell us. We got to do it. We got to do it.
Silver, but yes, get a little gold.
So the actress, or I should say the former bartender, wasn't a stripper, she was a former bartender, is afraid that she's going to go to jail.
Oh, we get to talk AOC today?
We get to take AOC. So the Congresswoman voiced her concern to Kara Swisher on her podcasts. She emphasized that Trump will round up people if elected president. This is her quote. I take him at his word when he says he's going to round up people. I take him at his word when he threatens journalists. I take him at his word, she said. I feel like what we saw in his first presidency was an amuse-bouche, an appetizer, to what his intentions are. He has learned from his mistakes of appointing professionals. He will not make that mistake next time. When asked if Trump has a legitimate chance of winning in November, the Congresswoman from New York said she believes he can pull out a victory against Biden.
I think she meant demons, not people. She just misspoke.
Oh, boy. Hard to know where she falls. It's crazy how the narrative
we know
is
she's an actress.
Oh, yeah, no question.
The question is who's paying the acting bill, right?
Who's paying the bill? Yeah.
I think the good guys might be on that one.
Who's feeding her the script? It's what it is. It's just a script.
I vote good guys on that one.
Okay.
It's just she's too off balanced.
More from California, another celebrity chef. He's not going to do business in broken California anymore. This is Andrew Gruel, told Varney and Company. That's a Fox News show. I will not open another business in California until they actually fix things going forward. Gruel also addressed the devastating consequences of California's tax policies and minimum wage hikes. This is his quote. You can't tax your way out of this, but for some reason, the governments continue to think that they can. And the businesses and the restaurants are the ones that are ultimately paying through that black hole, which there's never an end. If they were paying their workers, here's the math for you, $17 an hour, and now they're up to $20. At 30 workers a week, 40 hours a week, that's only $1,200 extra dollars times 3, $3,600. Well, the payroll taxes on that alone will make it at least $5,000 to $6,000 a week over 52 weeks. That's an additional $300,000.
Yep.
Wow.
And think of by the way, restaurants don't have the largest margins.
They don't.
It's a volume play.
Yep.
So when you're dealing with such small profit margins, it's tough. We predicted this though. When the minimum wage went to $20 for fast food places, you're going to have to compete, right? So
Yep.
how do you do it? You have to at least match what they're getting at a fast food joint. So that, but the deep state knows all this stuff before they make these decisions, right?
Yeah.
So very interesting. But this is basic economics, especially if you're dealing with a low profit margin business. By the way, I think the next one to be hit, this is going to be horrible. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but just be aware if you're in California, will be the grocery industry. Here's for two reasons. Number one, the grocery industry is one of the smallest profit businesses in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They run 1 to 3%. That's very, very, very
5%
low, right?
tops if they're really doing it well. Yeah, it's really, they make it up on the volume. That's where that comes from. The grocery industry.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then you know what else? They have one of the most aggressive unions in the United States. So you mix an aggressive union where they're going to use the fast food model as everybody's being underpaid.
Yep.
So if they're making $18 an hour right now, which is pretty good, right? They're going to have to get up to $22 an hour. And what are the $22 hours? They're going to go $26, $27 an hour. And the unions are so aggressive, I would say it's likely that you will see strikes and everything, or maybe even worse for we the people, you're going to see even more of a massive increase in food costs in California.
Yep.
But something that my wife pointed out, the genius that she is, she's also figured out, based on some conversations, that in California, there's many sectors in California of housing that can't get insurance due
Yep.
to if they're in what's called a declared fire zone or flood zone.
Mm-hmm.
And the insurance companies are literally canceling insurance.
Yep.
What's the ramifications of that? If you can't insure your house, you can't sell your house. So people are stuck in a state that everything's rising through the roof. They can't even sell their house for anything. It's literally unsellable because you can't sell a house that you can't insure. Nobody's going to buy that house, right? So I think that's another way that California is trying to hold people here playing that game. Are they in collaboration with the insurance companies? I think so.
Yeah, we hear that story here all the time in this area. People's my insurance got canceled. They didn't even tell me why. They just said not going to renew my insurance policy. As soon as the policy comes to an end for fire insurance, flood insurance, it's gone. They won't renew it. And they always blame it on the politics in California. The laws, make it impossible for us. And and there's some people that went from $1,200 a year in fire insurance, and they said if you want to do it, it's $14,000 a year. It's just like astronomical numbers that nobody could pay. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Lloyd's of London is going to start giving fire insurance to California residents.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
that.
so. So a little celebrity news, if we must. 5 celebrities who regret endorsing. Here you go. We got something there that's going on. Crazy.
Very cool.
I need a refresher. This news day is just getting to me. I'm telling you. Whew. Neumi Skin, folks, I'm going to mention it real quickly. It's real important to get yourself some glutathione spray. Really good for your skin. Makes you look as young as Lewis. I know he just had a birthday last week, but man, he looks younger every year. I don't know. Well, I do know. It's this. This is the secret. Younger skin, tighter skin, brighter skin. And we also have NutraSwish that you take internally, put it in your mouth, swish it around, and you get that nanoparticleized glutathione to go right into the bloodstream and get to work helping you detox, helping you recover faster, sleep better, feel younger, feel more energized. And we do it right before the show because, hey, and you probably have some with you, Lewis. You travel with it.
Oh, I do. Yeah, we have both. In fact, it's so funny. When I grabbed it, my wife's right here to the right of me, and she started seeing what I was packing, and she's like, really? A new bottle of Neumi Skin? Like, couldn't you grab one that we're already starting using? I go, oh, no, we're going to go through the whole thing while we're gone.
So 3 days, you're going to go through the whole bottle.
Yes. No. Yeah, we're kind of gone with traveling for about 9 days.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, everybody out there, Robert's really supporting me while we're traveling around the country. So let's go to Robert's link. Can you give Robert's link for the Neumi, please?
I don't have it queued up, but yeah.
You know what it is.
RenegadeMedia.tv/energy. RenegadeMedia.tv/energy. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate
Awesome.
that.
No.
Well, I heard that, and your wife can help me understand this. Spanish is very easy to learn. Is that true?
Yeah. Oh God. You know how much trouble you're getting me in right now? Do you understand what you just did to me?
No, but watch this video. This might help explain. I don't know. I don't think it's that easy to learn that language.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say though, you're doing Spanish a dirty.
Uh-oh.
Because English is the language of the Babylon construct. English is the bad language. English is the one that is all effed up. So maybe we just don't know that the Latin, which is, you know, the Spanish derivative of Latin, is the true language that we should be talking. So
Yep.
I'm defending the Latinas, and specifically mi esposa, right? But you get me in a lot of trouble, Robert, because it's been we've been together 19 years and I don't speak much Spanish. And you go ahead and play this. I'm going to hear about it all day long.
Well, you're gonna have to repeat that sentence that she did at the end there.
I know. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I have a lot of. I grew up in Montreal. A lot of French Canadian. Half my family up there is all French and hardly speak any English. And they try to learn English and they say it's so difficult. And I say, why? What's so difficult about it? Well, it's all the exceptions. So English is the language of exceptions, right? It's you tell somebody to chop a tree down, then you tell them to chop it up. Well, which one is it? Well, it's both. How can it be both? You know what I mean? It's like we've got those kind of things going in our language. It's kind of crazy, you know.
I would say English is a language of deception.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
if you look at the origins. We'll just do one whole show on English. My wife's been wanting me to do it forever, so maybe we should commit to doing that one.
Okay, that could be fun.
Yep.
We'll find all the exceptions to the English language. Here's a clip of Gen Z. They're on top of it. They know what's going on.
Do with the thermite that was planted there and
Yeah.
anything else that was involved. I won't even say the word. I just can't believe what I'm hearing from my wife's been showing me a couple of those videos this weekend, and I'm just like, wow. That's the higher educated, by the way.
Where do they get this stuff from? Is my question. I mean, they're indoctrinated in school, but what they're hearing doesn't even mimic reality. I mean, I know you can put a spin on a story, but there's nothing there that's even close to reality.
But Robert, it really, really makes sense because what we've learned in the education system, starting with elementary school now in the United States, all the way through college, it has zero to do with education. It has everything to do with memorization.
Mm-hmm.
So all they're doing is they're mocking birds. They're mocking what they've heard. Now, what happens is when you ask them to articulate what they're talking about, they know what the fuck they're talking about because they're trying to parrot something. And when you parrot something, you only can parrot about 1/3 of it anyways because you can't remember it.
Yep.
Boom! Put that on TikTok.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy is right. I can't even begin to tell you how. I can't even put words to that. It's so bad. I can't even put words to it. If she was my daughter, I'd have to smack her around a little bit and lock her in a room.
Exactly.
You're gonna watch some videos.
We don't condone violence. Joey has words for it. He says the outcome of a lobotomy.
Oh, yeah, an educational lobotomy. He may not be far from the truth.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Well, that comes to the end of the videos that I had planned for today and the content. So, yeah, we're 90-minute mark. I think we did really well with giving you what we got, what we could. Guys, it's still bubbling. It's still popping. There's still stuff. It's like I can't get away from what's happening. I'll be posting the videos that you saw here today. I'll put them up on the Renegade Media channel if you want to see it. Just go there to Telegram and find it. And Lewis, what are you up to for the rest of the day? And I hear your stomach gurgling. Is that accurate?
Yes, my stomach is gurgling in the undisclosed location in Gitmo. I can't tell you exactly in Gitmo where I am. I can tell you the nice thing is I have some thanks to give. I wanted to give thanks to Robert for helping us out so much here. Thank you to our admins. Thank you to everybody that's helped us with the process, the whole SBG team. Things are really hopping for us. Thank you to my beautiful wife for all the support. Thank you to the Gitmo guards for allowing her to spend some time with me and then they're going to give me some yard time. Oh, what's that? I'm sorry. Okay. So you're only going to shackle my ankles today. Oh, thank you very much. And, I get a slice of tomato on that sandwich. That's what I'm talking about. We appreciate. Salute you, sir. Thank you very much. And That'll do it. We will see you. I don't know if we have anything up for tomorrow. I think you might, but then I'll be here back on here Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm planning to do a short little video tomorrow. I don't know. It won't be a show. It won't have a regular show tomorrow for sure. But Wednesday we'll be back with the news, and then Thursday we'll have an interview, and I think Lance is either going to be with us Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure, but we also have Lee Miltier coming up in the next couple of days. So we've got a lot to look forward to. It's going to be a busy week. If anything really pops, Lewis and I are always committed to popping back on here and sharing with you anything big that explodes that you might need a little explanation on.
That's right. Lee and Lance are awesome, and you're awesome. God bless we the people.
Thank you, Lewis. Love you much, and enjoy Gitmo.